Hello and welcome. And as an introduction to this meditation, I would like to say a few words about letting go. Letting go is often associated with Buddhism, sometimes in more dramatic terms like renunciation perhaps. And certainly it's a very important part, letting go or release, liberation from clinging. But what is often not appreciated enough is that the Buddha rarely talked about letting go of anything. What he talked about releasing, letting go, is we let go of holding on. We let go of clinging to things, not necessarily let go of the things. And to paraphrase a common teaching of the Buddha and apply to letting go, he would have said, if letting go increases what's harmful for you, I don't teach you to let go. If letting go decreases what's harmful and increases what's beneficial for you, I teach letting go. And so there's always this understanding that letting go has two purposes. One is to let go of what is harmful for oneself, and the other, or stressful, and the other is to let go so that it's beneficial. We grow, we develop. But it's not the issue to let go of things. Maybe the English word letting go implies releasing, letting things go away. But it's opening the fist of the hand. We don't lose the fist. We don't lose the hand, but just the fist disappears. So the idea is not to hold on. And then there's two ways that we can let go, as I've showed before. One is that we let go and something drops away. The other is we let go of the clinging and the grasping, but we still can hold the thing. We can still hold it lightly, openly. And so as we sit this morning, see if you can let go of the clinging, the grasping, the holding on to things, and then see what happens. And a lot of what we cling to, hold on to, are ideas, our thoughts, our memories, our beliefs. And we don't even know we're holding on because in the grasping, we take it as natural. We think this is how it's supposed to be. But no, as we sit and meditate, we don't have to hold on to anything, grasp anything, cling to anything. And we also don't have to reject anything. Except for the clinging, except for the holding tight. So in letting go this way, it's very respectful. It allows everything to exist in its own way without our perpetuating it, reacting to it, holding on to it, pushing it away. And this is a phenomenal gift to ourselves, to the world, to all the different parts of ourselves, to let it be free of our entanglement with it. And so part of the purpose of Buddhist meditation is to become acutely sensitive to how we cling, how we tighten up, how we resist, how we become guarded, how we become defensive, how we become insistent, assertive. All as kind of manifestations of clinging, grasping, attachment. So to assume a meditation posture, and right at the beginning of meditation, assuming a posture that lets the body relax. Relaxation is a letting go of grasping and clinging in the muscles. Gently closing the eyes. And to allow, to orient towards a deep relaxing, a deep softening of the body. Perhaps taking some fuller breaths to feel the torso, the shoulders, the belly more fully. And then a longer exhale to relax, let go, soften. A byproduct of relaxing the body is that it can relax the mental tension that might be the cause of the physical tension. Allowing your breathing to return to normal. Softening the belly. Both as you inhale and as you exhale. If the belly expands as you breathe in, let that be like a gentle massage, relaxing in the expansion. When you exhale, see if you can relax the belly still. On the inhale, to feel the shoulders. And relaxing the shoulders on the exhale. Feeling the face. And relaxing the face. And then feeling any tension, pressure in the thinking mind. And with care, compassion, kindness for the thinking mind, as you exhale, soften the tension, the pressure. Maybe you can feel the drive, the insistence to think. Maybe there's fear and desire that drives the holding on to ideas and beliefs and thoughts. Relax, soften. Or maybe where clinging, holding on resides is in the heart area, or maybe deep in the belly. Maybe fueled by feelings of fear, maybe even a form of assertiveness, insistence. As you exhale, gently, softly, slowly release your holding. Release the force of attachment to anything. With each breath, let there be freedom. And ease by slowly letting go of holding. With the help of your imagination, imagine not holding on to anything. Nothing sticks. Nothing gets attached. Everything is free flowing, comes and goes. Like sitting in a river, and everything flows. The river flows right by. If we try to grasp at the water, we kind of come up empty-handed. Imagine letting go of everything. Sitting here quietly, letting everything be free to flow, including the freedom of awareness. The present moment awareness flows freely. Nothing is let go of. Only clinging is released. As we come to the end of this sitting, I'd like to begin by evoking the idea that the opposite of freedom is clinging, clamping down, tightening up, freezing, the heart resisting, being stuck in loops of thought. Bracing oneself against life, against feelings, against thoughts and emotions. And that non-clinging is the release of all these things. Letting go, releasing, clamping down, being stuck, bracing oneself, so that we have breathing room, so we can breathe easily in the midst of all things. We can have a soft, relaxed belly. Our hands and jaws, shoulders can be at ease wherever we go. So that our thinking is not stuck, doesn't overpower us with beliefs and opinions, projections and fantasies. To let go of clinging, so that we have just to let go of the fist. Open the fist of the hand, the fist in the mind, the fist in the heart, so our good heart can meet the world. Our friendly thoughts can meet the world. Our open-handedness can meet the world. And may it be by being open-minded, open-hearted, open-handed, we can live in this world for the benefit of all beings, including ourselves. May our openness that comes from letting go of clinging be for the welfare and happiness of all beings. May we freely offer our goodwill. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. And may all beings be free. Thank you. So hello and welcome to this series on insight. And right now we're discussing the insight into dukkha, insight into suffering or stress, unsatisfactoriness. And my hope in giving these talks now about suffering, that most of you have been along for much of this progression of practice of teachings from the beginning of the year, with samadhi, cultivating a deep capacity to be calm and centered and quiet, still, peaceful, relaxed. And also these talks about insight, the deep capacity to be present for the changing nature of this world. And in doing so, to be aware of how we resist that change, how we stop it, how we hold on to it, how we struggle with it. And one of the ways we struggle, that Buddhism emphasizes, is one way or the other, we're clinging to something. We cling to how things were, we cling to how we want them to be, we cling to how things are, we cling to how they should be. We cling to our beliefs, our thoughts, we cling to identity, we cling to our possessions, we cling to people. There's no shortage of things that we cling to, we get attached to, we hold on tight. And all of those can be felt, if you're really deeply flowing in insight practice, as a resisting or interfering with the changing, moving, inconstant flow of experience. It's a way of standing in the river and putting up our hand and telling the river to stop. Maybe even putting the hand in the water to kind of stop it. And you can put a lot of effort into stopping the water, but the water will flow right around your hand. So there's something we can feel. We can feel at some point, and deeper the practice goes, how clinging and attachment doesn't serve us. It actually feels like it's a distraction, it's a interference, it's a limiting ourselves in a very important way. And so the desire to let go of clinging is not an instruction, not something you're supposed to do, you should do. But with insight practice, samadhi and insight, at some point we know for ourselves, we can feel for ourselves, this is not good. Not only that, we can feel more deeply that the very nature of clinging, in the heart of it, it wants to let go. It wants to release. It's work. It's suffocating. It's tight. It's painful to cling. And in the middle of it, there's a desire to release, to free. And in deeper insight practice, it's not a matter of following a admonition, you should let go, but rather is listening deeply to the letting go that wants to happen. So in these talks about suffering, the second characteristic, the second really important insight of insight practice, the deep recognition of something about suffering. It's maybe helpful to appreciate that when the Buddha talked about the suffering that he really wants to address through this practice, that he defined it in a particular way. He defined it as clinging, sometimes as craving. And clinging is a kind of very, kind of holding on tight, much more than is needed. And there's something about the nature of holding on tight that hurts, that is stressful, that is painful. And so one of the strong definitions the Buddha gave of suffering, he called suffering, the human suffering that we have, the bundle of clinging. It's a bundle. It isn't just we cling to one thing, but a few of us cling to a lot of things. We have a big bundle. And some people keep accumulating bigger and bigger bundles. Every time we look at an advertisement or see something that we want, we hold on to that. Um, all through the day, we're accumulating more things to cling to, more things to hold on to, more things that we're grasping. And the Buddha said that there was back in his understanding, 5 primary areas of this clinging. We can cling to appearances, our own appearance and others. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry taking care of appearances in this country. We can cling to sensations, to whether things are pleasant or unpleasant, comfortable or uncomfortable. Many people are holding on to comfort. Comfort means so much more than just pleasantness. It means security or success or something. Clinging to comfort and discomfort. Clinging to ideas of things. We cling to stories. We cling to imaginations. We cling to the stories of identities, me, myself, and mine. And we cling to consciousness or cognitions that we have. So each of these things is it doesn't have to be these 5, but for the Buddha, he puts in these 5 buckets of these 5 bundles that we're gathering up all the time. And it isn't the bundles, it isn't the things we cling to that are the issue. And this is a very important part of this Dharma practice. The issue is not what we cling to. The primary issue is the grasping itself. And so to separate those two out is so important, because otherwise we think we have to let go of everything, our possessions, our wealth, our friends, everything. But we don't have to let go. We have to let go of anything, but we have to let go of the clinging to those things. And in letting go of the clinging, we might have greater wisdom. In some things we see they don't serve us, they harm us, and so we put them aside. But if they benefit from some things, we don't have to put them aside. We can live with them freely, with an open hand, without clinging. But this deep movement of letting go of the grasping, the clinging, the holding on, the tightening, is really the emphasis of Buddhism. So yesterday I talked about the 3 kinds of suffering. We're here now, the word dukkha can be understood pain. If you understand it as literally as pain, there is dukkha, the pain of pain, like physical pain, that's just pure and simple physical. There is the suffering, the pain of things changing. They're not being what they are. People die, get sick, things will fade, things break, societies change. And then there's the suffering of the mental formations, the mental constructs that we have. And the third one is really the primary concern. We can have mental constructs, mental clinging, grasping towards physical pain. We can have mental grasping and clinging to a relationship to how things are changing or not changing. And we can have mental grasping and clinging to the constructs we've created. And so it's a third one which is a primary concern. And they make the first 2 easier. If we're not grasping, clinging, resisting, physical pain can be a lot easier. I'm not saying it becomes easy, but it removes the second arrow. If we don't cling to change, then change becomes easier. It's not always nice, it's not always welcome, but it becomes easier to find our way. And one of the remarkable things is how our hearts, our deep inner psychological life, generally knows how to work through, how to find its way with grief, with loss, with change, with what's coming new, with adapting to the new way of living. If we give it a chance, give it time. But if we cling and resist, we don't give this deeper heart a chance to find its way. We interfere with it. And then mental constructs are so much nicer and easier if there's no clinging. And we learn to let go of those constructs that harm us, for no other reason, because they involve this tightness and resistance. So the core suffering that the Buddhist practice is meant to address is the suffering that comes from our mental clinging attachments that we have. And as I said at the beginning of this talk, the function of deep mindfulness practice, deep samadhi practice, is to help us become our own teacher, that we can feel and recognize that how we shortchange ourselves, how we harm ourselves through our clinging, our attachment. But even more important, we can feel that deep inside, deep in the heart of our clinging, our attachments, sometimes our fears, sometimes our strong desires, sometimes our very clinging to identity, to me, myself, and mine. There is a wish, there's a feeling, there is a movement towards freedom, to letting go of that clinging. And so we become our own teacher when we recognize that, the wisdom of non-clinging, and the deep request that even clinging asks of us, that our inner life asks of us: let go, release, put down this burden, free yourself from all this work of clinging, the yoke of clinging, the bondage of clinging. Put it down, let it go, become free of this suffering. So the insight into suffering is invaluable, so we can see that in the heart of suffering is a desire for freedom, which is an invitation. Let go of clinging, of holding on. Thank you.